everyone, my name is Christy. Welcome to my corner. Thanks so much for joining me today for this Flosstube Friday. Wait a minute, that's not right. I need to fix this. Hold on one second, everyone. There we go. Now we're where we should be. Welcome to my corner. Thank you so much for joining me today on this Flosstube Friday for Flosstube number 51. And I have a lot of stuff to talk about today. I have whips, no finished objects, but I have whips, I have plans, I have wedding plans, I have a book update, I have a ton of, I have like 3 weeks worth of haul because the only stuff that you saw 2 weeks ago was from Maine, but I bought fabric before that. I've been doing some shopping for like wedding crafts. So there's a lot happening in this episode. I think it's going to be very long. So like grab yourself like a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or an icy cold beverage and let's get this started. But before we get to that, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me on my crafty and artistic adventures, and welcome back to everyone who's been hanging out with me for however long you've been with me. It has been so wonderful to get to know you in the comments on YouTube and also on Instagram. And if you're not following me on Instagram, you can find me at Dr_Christy. I'll put that right here now that I have my editing software back. And that is where I post pictures of works in progress, of my day-to-day life. I posted a picture of my dog, who's adorable. I'm posting pictures of like wedding crafts and book updates, basically all the stuff that I do on this channel. And this channel is about embroidery and cross stitch and other textile crafts and baking, although not in the near future, and I'll explain why, and history and the history of all those things. So if any of that is interesting to you and you're not subscribed, please subscribe and check me out on Instagram. Yeah, I don't know where to start. I guess I want to start with my trip. So I have been gone for 2 weeks. This is actually the first time I've ever missed a Friday in the almost year that I have been doing Flosstubes. And I was traveling and I was visiting my family. It was the first time I had seen my family since December of 2019, and it was really nice to see everybody, and it was really nice to see everybody. Let me just say that. You saw me in Maine. That was my last day in Maine, and then I drove down to my dad's house and we had my dad's 70th birthday party, and I got to see my nieces and my brother and my sister and my sister-in-law, and I got to meet, well, I saw my whole family for the party, so that was really nice. And then I went to Pennsylvania and I visited my mom, and we drove up to State College, Pennsylvania, which is where I'm getting married in a month. And we, finalized a bunch of stuff there. We picked up some cupcakes to try, which I posted pictures of on Instagram. We tried the food truck food. Anyway, it's all going along swimmingly. So that I'll talk about the wedding planning later. And then I hung out with my mom and my stepdad, and then my brother and sister-in-law came back again, and so I got to see my nieces again. Anyway, lots of family time. It was a bit overwhelming, I have to say, but it was really nice to see them because it had been a long time, a very long time. So I get home and the house is 90 degrees because our air conditioner broke over 2 weeks ago. So my fiance has been dealing with this for over 2 weeks. I get home, the house is 90 degrees. We're currently, we were in a heat wave, and we're currently in more reasonable temperatures, and it's actually getting in the 60s at night, which it doesn't usually do here in Mississippi. So we've been able to keep the house at the low 80s, which I can handle pretty well, but Rich, he struggles with that. So we are lucky enough to have kind of like we have a little compound. Our property is a decent size, but it's just kind of covered in buildings. So we have our main house that we live in, and then we have a brick workshop, which has all of his like tools and stuff, and also our lawn equipment and stuff like that. And then we have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house that's like a rental house. We use it for storage because the bathroom, so I'm sorry, if I'm glistening, it's because it's like 83 degrees in here. The bathroom isn't fully functioning. There is a toilet, but it is like a standing toilet only. The sink doesn't work, but it does have air conditioning and it has beds in it because I moved, when I moved in, I moved basically an entire full house into another entire full house. So a lot of my furniture is over there. So there's like a living room and a bedroom where we can sleep in the air conditioning. But we're still both working from home. So he's working over there in the air conditioning, and I'm working over here in my normal office in the non-air conditioning. So that's why baking is not going to happen anytime soon. We don't know when the air conditioner will be fixed. The part should be coming to the place that's going to fix it, but it hasn't gotten there yet. It was supposed to get there today. It did not get there yet when I called at like 3:30 in the afternoon. So Monday, maybe the part will get there, and then they have to schedule the appointment to come out and fix it. And we have to hope that it's the right part because we have a warranty company that sent the part. Anyway, needless to say, I don't know when baking's going to happen because I don't want to heat up the house like that. And yeah, it's a lot. And that's kind of why I haven't gotten a ton of stitching done. I can't really stitch in my normal stitching chair. I don't hang out in here at night. I like after work, I go back over to the, I call it the tiny house, over to the tiny house because I want to spend time with my fiance and my dog who is over in the tiny house. Anyway, so I'm not as productive as I would like to be, but I am kind of pushing through some things. Yeah, so that's kind of the current situation and why if I'm glistening, that's why. While I was on the East Coast, I met up with Pam from Stitching the Land of Good Enough, and so I decided to film a little intro in her stitching corner. So that's what you saw at the beginning. And there was, we did try to do some scenarios, but we will never be actors. So we just started laughing. So I'm going to post some bloopers at the end. So Pam pops her head in and, you know, we tried to play off each other and it just didn't. We just kind of started laughing and it didn't work. So you'll see some bloopers at the end if you're interested in that. And, oh, I dyed my hair, so I'm bright red again. I basically decided that I had some hair dye under my counter. I didn't know what color it was. I was just going to dye my hair whatever color that was, and it happened to be red. So I'm a redhead at least for the next month. I think I will probably go to dark brown before the wedding. So I'll probably do that in like 3 weeks. But for now, I'm a redhead again, so that's fun. And I got new glasses. So I didn't want to shock you with new glasses. I wanted to give you like a lead up to the new glasses. So we're going to do a little movie magic and switch the glasses. So there we go. They are not like, they have the same feel as the other glasses, I think, but are different enough that they feel like different glasses. Unfortunately, it looks like the glare is like right there. So that might be really distracting. So I may still film in my old glasses because I can still see pretty well in them. Yeah, so it looks like the curvature of the, that's going to be distracting. Oh my. Well, you'll get over it. I'll go back to my old glasses to film just, and I'll like kind of look down and I'll look up at you. Anywho, so these are my new glasses. And let's get to stitching. We've been kind of chatting now for 10 minutes. I mean, a little bit of that's going to get cut out, but that's a long time for me. I don't usually chat for that long. So let's start with some stitching. I have 3 whips that I've been working on, and you've seen them all. I don't have any new starts. I apparently can't open a plastic bag. My first whip is from the Just Cross Stitch magazine for June of 2021 that I won in a giveaway from Mrs. Flossie. And I am doing Wildflowers with a View right there. And this was kind of my first attempt at a full coverage. You know, I want to, well, if you watch Crafty Emily, she has a Facebook group and we do a Zoom every fortnight, although I haven't gone in like a month, but next week I'm excited. We have this Zoom and the folks in the Zoom have decided that I'm going to do, that they want me to do a hate, and there's actually a poll, like a secret poll of when I will start my first Heaven and Earth design chart. And I've picked it out. I'm not fighting it because I actually picked out one that I would be willing to do. But I wanted to try to do a full coverage, like a reasonable size full coverage, before I try a giant full coverage. And so I happen to have this magazine that I want, and I thought I would try this one out. And it's actually going fairly well, and I'm pretty pleased with it. It's stitched on, I think, a 16 count, just white Aida in the called for DMC. I had tried to do a conversion. It was a bad idea. You cannot do like a conversion of full coverage unless you have access to a lot of different colors. I was just trying to do it with what I had, and it was not effective. So I started over. Sorry, I'm just dropping things on the floor. I started over, and I'm doing it in the called for colors. And this is where I've gotten. So I've done a lot. I think last time you saw it, I was probably to like here. So I've done sort of all this. Most of this actually I've done this week since I got home. And I stitch in hand on for cross stitch, and so I leave the needle in the fabric, apparently like a savage. So this is my Wildflowers with a View, I think it's called, from Just Cross Stitch magazine. And I decided to work down here because I just could not stand doing those light colors anymore. I mean, like, now I understand why people, when they are working on a full coverage like this, and they get into like the whites, that they have to do other parts. So I have been doing sort of like some down here and then some up here and then some down here and some up here. And I've been kind of switching it off. I don't want to end up just with like a ton of this happening, but it's not fun. This, however, down here is going to get super confetti heavy soon. So we'll see how I feel about confetti. That's kind of the test. Now, one thing I need to keep in mind is that this is a paper chart. Let me grab it. And this is actually my first cross stitch with a paper chart. So that is also kind of slowing me down. I'm getting used to that, but it's working okay. It's working okay. And so my consolation is that when I do like, if I start to do a Head, I'll be able to put it in Pattern Keeper and do it electronically, which I think will be much easier. So that is my first whip that I keep in this plastic bag. I need to make, I say this every week, I need to make more project bags. So that is my first whip. My second whip you have all seen like every week, but I show it to you anyway because that's what I do. And it is my temperature library that I designed for me and my mom. And this pattern is available in this embroidered version, which is what I'm working on. And I'm doing it all in satin stitch. So I want to kind of work on my satin stitch. And it's also available in a cross stitch pattern, which is both of which are available in my Etsy shop, which is linked down below. Now, I plan on doing another version of this, a 2022 version of this. I'm going to update this version so that you can plug in the date at the top. And then I'm going to do a 2022 version so that anyone who stitched this year can stitch another one next year, and you can have kind of like a library that'll look different. So it'll have a different organization of books. It'll be the same size, but it'll have a different organization of books, and it will have different knickknacks in it. Some of which are from the knickknack expansion pack, but some of which were, you know, suggested by some of my subscribers. Some were suggested by my family, and some I came up with. So you can keep an eye out for that. I would say probably late September or early October. That's when that will become available on my Etsy shop, but I'll keep you updated on that. But this is where I am, and I have finished July, so I'm basically up to date. I usually work on this on Sundays with my mom, and so I should by rights have started August 1st, because Sunday was August 1st. But I decided just to stop it at July 31st, and you can see the heat, the no air conditioning heat moment. And this is being stitched on a bleached linen yardage from fabricstore.com. I have all the information down below, and it's in the called for DMC in my color scheme. So that is my second whip for the day, work in progress. And I keep that, not like a savage, in my book bag, which, you know, makes sense. So that's my second whip. And then I'm going to put it back over here. My third whip is, and I'm going to talk about haul a bit at this point too, because they kind of go together, is I'm working on my flower petals that are going to be part of my wedding bouquet. So this is called stump work, and it's like stump work and also silk shading. And I'm using the silks that I got from my mom, and here are some extras that I bought. These are from DeVere Yarns. They're a size 6 silk from DeVere Yarns. And basically I'm making individual petals surrounded by a wire. And what should happen if it works, this is my first time doing some work, so if it doesn't work, I have a plan B for my bouquet, so it's not a big deal. But what I'm going to do is cut this out very, very close to the wire. And then I'm going to melt this, because this is polyester, so it should melt around so that it won't come undone. And then I'm going to bend it around a center and create a flower out of it. So it's going to have 9 petals, maybe 10 petals. We'll see what works. But the inner petals will be this is an inner petal. So it'll be gold and then a dark gold and then this tealy blue color. These are like the second layer of these 3. And then the final layer will be almost all white with a little bit of gold at the base. So that's the plan for the flowers. And I'm only going to make, I think I'm going to make 3 of these. If it works, I'm going to make 3 of these. So I have to get cracking on these guys. Oh, I do have another whip that I'll talk about, but I can't really show you, and I'll explain why, but that'll be in a second. So this is what one of the things I've been working on. I started a new petal, and I bought wires. Where are they? I bought sort of floral wire that I'm going to cut in half, and this will be the stem of the flowers. I bought some gold leaves. I went to Michael's, had a clearance, all sorts of wedding stuff on clearance. So I got these gold leaves, and then I got sparkly middles. So these will be the middles of the flowers, which I thought would be really pretty. So I'm going to put, so basically you have the middle sparkle, and then you have 2 really kind of bended gold and blue petals, and then you have 3 more open gold, blue, and white petals, and then 4 or 5 white and gold petals on the outside. So it should create sort of a pretty little flower. That's the theory anyway. And like I said, if it doesn't work, I have other ideas. I found some really neat like thin wooden flowers that I think will work perfectly well, and I will be perfectly happy with them if I need to do that. So that's part of my haul, are those things. I've also been zhuzhing up my wedding dress. So I can't show you my wedding dress because I'm afraid that it'll either be, well, it won't be the thumbnail because I have my own thumbnails, but I'm afraid that it will, you know how when you're watching YouTube on your TV and you go to it and it plays a part of it? I'm afraid it's going to play a part. My fiance subscribes to my channel, so I'm afraid it's going to play a part like that part, and he doesn't want to see my dress, so I'm not going to show it to him. But I will show you that the dress has some embroidery on it. And I decided I would zhuzh it up by adding some gold beads. So I'm hand beading my dress, and I think that it will be beautiful. It will be kind of a subtle sparkle, but I think it'll be really nice, and it makes me really happy. So that, I kind of want, it makes me happy to zhuzh it up. I wanted to zhuzh it up. And I was going to do embroidery with that teal silk, but it would have taken, I mean, it would have taken forever. And I have other things I have to do. So I decided beading is much quicker, and it's going along really well. And I'm doing a little bit of it every morning, and that's going well. So that's that. And while I'm talking about wedding stuff, I'll show you another thing that I got. I am not really a veil person, so I got this like bird cage comb veil thing. And what I'm going to do is remove it from this comb because a comb won't stay in my hair at all. But I have this sort of fascinator headband. And so I'm going to attach this like that. So that's the plan for my noggin on my wedding. But that should be pretty easy to do. And I'm really happy because I love this. Okay. That is the whip section of our program today. I guess well, no, I don't want to talk about wedding stuff. I'm going to talk about plans next, my stitching plans next, just so that way, if you're not interested in any of like the extra life stuff, you can like just stop it and move on, which I totally understand. I do have plans. I am going to, well, I have to work on the dress and the petals. I have to do that. I haven't worked on my bee and bears in a while, and I kind of want to work on them as well. And then I guess I just kind of want to work on all my whips. I don't plan on starting anything new until I finish something. So I need to finish something, whether it's the dress or the flowers or the whatever, probably not the full coverage, and definitely not. So it's either the bear and the bee, the dress, or the flowers, because I need to finish something. I have too many like whips happening and nothing's getting completed. And I am a product stitcher. I am not a process stitcher. I know many of you are process stitchers, but I like finishing things and finishing it. The other thing I want to do, and what I want to start is I want to design a new cross stitch pattern with mer people. Those of you who have been following me for a while know that I found this 16th century lace book of like lace patterns, and lace patterns are pixelated in the same way that cross stitch patterns are pixelated, although not as intricate because you don't have the same kind of color variations. But this lace pattern booklet has these like wackadoodle different patterns, and they have a mermaid and a merman, and I want to put them as like a diptych, like the harpy and dragon, like the two red deers, right? And I want to make one of those of a mer lady and a merman, and they are like ridiculous looking, and I love them. So that'll be coming out probably in the next couple weeks, because I'm really anxious to start on to like design that and start stitching that, because I love me some wackadoodle mer people. So you can that's a plan for like the next few weeks. But that's it really. I mean, I want to work on all my projects. I want to keep up with my temperature library. I definitely want to, well, I would love to have an actual flower to show you for next week. I was hoping to have it for this week, but that was just not happening. There's just too much going on this week, so that just wasn't going to happen. But I'm pretty excited about that. I had a giveaway 2 weeks ago. Let me get that. I went to Camp Wool in Millbridge, Maine, and I got some patterns for myself, and then I also got a pattern to give away to you to sort of commemorate my trip to Maine. And so not last week, 2 weeks ago, I asked anyone who was interested in stitching this pattern to just use Maine in the comment. And the winner of this pattern is Ruth Ann Litterick. So Ruth Ann, thank you so much for participating. You have won this kit. It has the aida, it has the thread, it has the pattern. Please get in touch with me either on Instagram, like I said, Dr_Christy, or you can email me at christyscornercraft@gmail.com. That's down below too. My email address is down below. But shoot me a message and give me your mailing address. I don't think I have it. Well, I don't know if I have it, but it's easiest just to send it to me again, because I don't keep track. I don't have like an address book because I'm kind of the worst person. In fact, aside, fun fact about Christy, I didn't realize that people put like their family members' birthdays in their calendar. I thought that people just remembered these things, and I was always forgetting my family members' birthdays because I didn't have it in my calendar, because it didn't even occur to me to put it in my calendar. That's how I am with addresses as well. So please, back to the story here. Ruth Ann, please contact me and shoot me your mailing address, and I will get this out in the mail to you. So thank you everyone for participating. I had 18 entries, which was really cool. So thank you everybody. I appreciate it very much. I think we're up to the haul portion of the show. And the haul portion is fairly intense. So if you're not interested in that and you don't care about my book or wedding plans, I totally get it. But I did a lot of purchasing. So you saw some of that for the wedding stuff. I think I'm going to start with kind of my stitching purchases, which are not really purchases, but they're my recurring clubs. I have a BeStitchMe Silk of the Month club, and then I have a Color and Cotton club. And then I did a Joann's run before I left for Maine, for the Northeast. So I'll show you that. And then I did a Michael's run when I came back from the Northeast, which also included like the stuff that you've already seen. So let's do the stitching stuff first. These are my clubs that I got. The first one is the BeStitchMe Silk of the Month club. And this is actually my last Silk of the Month club for now. I love her silks. I love the silks from BeStitchMe, but these are all my, not these, those are wool. We'll block them. These are like all my silks, and I need to start using them. I'm not stitching enough at the moment that I can justify getting more all the time, because I usually use my cottons, which are down here. Anywho, let's talk about my Silk of the Month club, which is my last Silk of the Month club. I have Mojito. Oh, and they're all greens. They're lovely. Mojito, Pistachio, which, yeah, I mean, that's a very vibrant, almost fluorescent-y green. Succulent. That's nice. That's a bit variegated, it looks like, which is really nice. Grass, which is more of a yellowy green. And then Swamp, which is kind of a beigey green. So those are all different greens from my Silk of the Month club, which is nice because I feel like I have a lot of like pinks and blues and not a whole lot of greens. So this will really round out my collection, and that will be very good. I also got my Color and Cotton Floss of the Month club for July. And they are, oops, and I'm dropping them on the floor. No, I didn't drop them on the floor. And they are kind of a pastel-y grouping. So we have Thistle, which is kind of a dusty purple. Blue Daisy. Pear. And Pear, these are fairly solid, which is nice. I like the fairly solid ones because with the kind of work that I do with flosses in my freehand embroidery, the solid colors usually work better. Not always. Sometimes the variegateds are good, but often the solid colors work better. Hayride and Peanut. So there you go. There are my Color and Cottons, which is a very nice kind of grouping. And that is my stitchy clubs that I've got in the past 3 weeks. I picked up some, we're going to go in order, in chronological order. Like I said, I went to Joann Fabrics before I left for the Northeast, and I got some stuff on clearance, and I got a lot of fabrics. So let me show you what I got on clearance. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I think that they're super cute. They're just tiny little spools. And I think that they'll be lovely. I don't know that, I think it'll be lovely for like photographs. I don't think I would want to store my flosses on them. But mostly because like there's not a lot of space. It's like, you know, they're clearly decorative. So I need to kind of think about what I want to do with them. But I thought those were fun. I got 2 bags of those. Not that I needed them, but I really like them. And then I got fabric. I got a bunch of remnants. I love me some remnants for stitching on and also for finishing things. So I got a very nice plaid, gold, pink, and orangey plaid. And then I got, this is a white that I've gotten before that has like leaves and vines and stuff on it. And this is really nice for like winter stitching. I got reindeer in plaids and whites and grays and blacks. That will be nice for finishing or for project bags. I got it looks like a sort of a travel-y adventure animal kind of fabric that I haven't opened. I got a green mottled. It's not a batik. It's just kind of mottled. And then I got a kind of gold and beige and yellow snowflake. I don't remember where I was. I got a phone call. So those are the remnants that I got. And then I got some amazing like yardage. So I got some RBG, Notorious RBG fabric, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, to go with my Ruth Bader Ginsburg action figure. So I got some Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I got some Frida Kahlo fabric, which is like amazing and I love it. And it's just sort of all different motifs, Frida Kahlo motifs. I got some sort of vintagey sewing, stitching kind of fabric-y motifs, which I really like as well. I don't know why I'm holding it sideways. Ugh, awkward. So I got that. And then I got well, it's called a needle gripper, but it's essentially, what's it called? They use it in medical stuff. It snaps. But I got this. So I know you're yelling at me, and someone will put it down below, and I'll be like, yeah, of course, that's what it's called. But it like locks closed. And I got this not for gripping needles, but for turning like tubes inside out for when I'm sewing. So that way, like if I have to sew a thin, like a strap or something, this will make it much easier to turn it inside out. So I got that. I've been kind of wanting one of those for a while, and I had a coupon, so I used it. That is the Joann Fabrics part of the haul that I got before I left for the Northeast. Then while I was in the Northeast, I didn't steal it because I asked permission, but I acquired a few things from my mom's house. First of all, and I had mentioned this, it's heavy, but I will pick it up and show you. I got her serger. So I haven't had the chance to play around with it yet. It's just kind of hanging out here. It needs to be cleaned. It probably needs to be oiled. I need to figure out how to use it, but I now have a serger in the house. Whether it works or not is another, another thing. We will find out, but it's in the house, and I will work on that when, we're spending our time in the house again, because at the moment we're not spending our time in the house. I also got, backtrack. I've been doing these goofy needle felting things, like my turkey. So I've been doing these goofy needle felting things, and I'm doing them because I've been watching the Crafty Toads, who have a knitting podcast, and they are having like the Toad Hollow summer camp, where everyone crafts like a thing, and you can win prizes and stuff like that. And so I did this and my fox, which is somewhere around here. Oh, he's right there, my fox. I did the owl and the fox because the first prompt was stuffies, which are like stuffed animals. So those are my two first things. I think the intention is knitting, crocheting, and sewing because they sell yarn and fabric. But I don't knit and crochet, and I don't really sew dolls. So I didn't. But I had these needle felting kits, so I decided to do needle felting kits. Well, this month's prompt is a bag, like a tote bag. And I could easily make a tote bag, right, if I wanted to, but I don't need another tote bag, like another fabric tote bag. I guess I could always use a fabric tote bag, but I don't need a fabric tote bag. And I'm not really excited about making a fabric tote bag. I certainly can't knit or crochet a tote bag because I don't know how to knit and crochet. So I thought I would needle felt a bag. So I got some roving. I got some fiber from my mom's house. My mom doesn't craft by half measures. So when she decided that she wanted to do spinning, she like has an entire closet filled with fiber. This, if I had just snuck in and like taken this, she wouldn't have noticed except for this white stuff was gone. Everything, I mean, like she would not have noticed it was gone. So I took some to make a bag, and then I've been really, oh, let me put that down. It's noisy. And then I've been really kind of interested in needle felting, like felting a hat, like making hats out of fiber like that, and like needle felting hats. So they sell foam forms that will, you know, help you needle felt a hat, but they're not cheap. And so I think first I need to like do all my other crafty things that I want to do, like all the other things I want to accomplish. I need to just accomplish it before I can buy I mean, it's not super expensive, but it's like expensive enough that I don't want to, I have things I need to finish first. Let's just say that. I have crafting that I need to finish first. I have a needle felting kit that I still have to do, like a landscape kit that I want to do. That has to happen first. I have to make project bags first. I have to like finish something. I have to finish something, people. I'm a product crafter. I have to finish something. So that's my goal, is to finish something. But once I finish something, all bets are off and I am like needle felting hats. I follow this amazing woman on Instagram who wears these amazing, ridiculous hats, and I love them. Like, I'm gonna be her in 20 years, I swear. That's gonna be me. Prepare yourselves, people. All right, that is my that is my acquisitions from my mom's house. Then I got home and I went to Michael's and I got the wedding stuff that I already showed you. And I got a bunch of hoops. Now these are the plastic hoops that I like. I think I did a video about hoops that I like. I'll post it right up here or up here, wherever it ends up. I like this one because it has like a ridge in the middle, if you can see that. And so it locks it really well. I got these because I was hoping to start doing embroidery classes again. Before the COVID started, I was doing embroidery classes. Well, I had started doing embroidery classes. And I thought that these, not this one, that these would be good for stitching on. Because the kind of bamboo hoops aren't great for actually stitching on. They're good for framing, but not for stitching on. So I thought I would get a couple of these to do a stitching. And then I got this, which is a loops and thread kind of, it's not a flexi hoop, but it's, you know, like a flexi hoop. Oh, this is Anchor. That's a frame, but, and let me start over. I got this not for the outside, but for the inside, because if you see right here, I have a black flexi hoop frame that does not have an inside, and it's a 10-inch frame. And so I thought I would get a 10-inch one at the store, but they don't fit. They're different sizes. So I now have this that I'm not going to return. But these were all on clearance for $1 each, so I picked up all of them. And then, so that's, I think, all of my haul. But I did get an amazing, amazing, amazing gift that I will show you. These are my patterns that I got in Maine. And the gift is from Marianne, who is one of my subscribers, and we chat on Instagram, we chat in the comments, and she gave me some Happy Mail. And this is like such a gift, such a gift. If you are on Instagram, you already saw it, so you're going to see it again. But I got, oh, she sent me some teas, some nice teas, so that was really lovely. And be agog, everyone, be agog. She sent me a needlework book or magazine from 1899, and it's amazing. I am going to do a flip through of this for a video. For my next Friday's video is going to be a flip through because I'm changing my setup. With work expanding again, I just can't do 2 videos a week anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Flosstube every other week. And then on the alternate weeks, I'm going to do kind of what I was doing for my Tuesday videos. So next Friday is going to be a flip through of this journal, magazine, whatever you want to call it. Just to give you a little teaser. And I put this on Instagram. Look at that. Oops. That is embroidery, which is amazing. I'll give you another one. One that I didn't put on Instagram. So there are lots of different plates. There's directions on how to select good materials. And there are plates, colored plates. Here are some strawberries. Aren't they beautiful? They're so beautiful. So we're going to do a flip through of this book. And I think not only is it awesome, but it also has really good information in it, which I appreciate. I always like good information. And I think that is all my stitchy content. I don't think I have any other stitchy content. And I had to stop in the middle because of a phone call. So I don't know how long I've been talking. I'm just going to keep going and hope for the best. And if you are not interested in hearing about my wedding plans or about my book, then thank you so much for joining me. And those of you who are interested in those other parts of my videos, let's move on. So let's do a book first, and then we'll do wedding plans at the end. So I'm writing a book that is, I'm a medieval historian, and I'm writing a book based on my research, and that is due in January. I'm not in January. Not January, December. It's due December 1st. I am working through it. So I did a video about that book. I'll put that right here so you can see kind of what it's about, how it, well, my original plans for organizing, which have since changed, and also why I'm talking about it in my Flosstube. So you can find that up there. And I did not work on my book at all while I was away. I had brought things with me to read, and I didn't read them. I didn't even bother taking my computer with me because I knew I wasn't going to do anything on my computer. I thought maybe I would read a bit, but it was just so hectic and so much family, and I wanted to be present with them because it had been 1.5 years since I'd seen any of them, and yeah, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. So I wanted to be present. But since I've been back, I have actually been getting some good work done. And what I'm doing this week is I am taking my dissertation, and which I had marked up before I left, and I'm reorganizing it into various chapters. So I am organizing it into 4 chapters. I have chapter 1, well, I have an introduction, and then chapter 1 will be talking about the court system and the people in the court system and how the court system works, and like the background on marriage law and stuff like that. Chapter 2 will look at women as plaintiffs. Chapter 3 will be women as defendants, and chapter 4 will be women as witnesses. I don't remember what I was talking about. I think I was, oh, the last chapter, chapter 4, is women as witnesses. And so I've been taking the different pieces and putting them into like a Word document for each chapter, which I'm then going to draw from when I start writing those chapters. That was a very loud car. So that's the plan. I mean, that's what I've been working on this week. And the plan is that I'm done with that by next week. And I also need to read some articles and stuff. I need to read at least an article a day. But again, it's just really hard because I don't have anywhere to do that. I can't, you know, because of the current living situation with having no air conditioning and not being able to be in my office or in the living room. Like, we're both very close together in the tiny house, which has air conditioning, but not a lot of space. Anyway, it's very difficult. So I'm hoping, I mean, we should have air conditioning in the next 2 weeks, I think. Which is absurd because at that point it'll be like a month. But yeah, it's very discombobulating having all of these, like living in two places. And, you know, the main issue for me is that, like, I can't use the bathroom in the other house. So I have to, like, come back here. So it's like I'm camping in, like, a cabin. It's fine. It's just a lot. And I'm also dealing with that. So anyway, it's just a lot. So I'm not being as productive as I'd hoped, but I am trying to at least continue to progress. The other thing too is that I'm giving a presentation this Sunday on the history of writing. And it's essentially like looking at the history of writing from ancient Mesopotamia to the printing press in like the 15th century through different objects. And I would like to record that and post that for you all at some point too, but that will be later on when I'm not like melting. Right? I think that's the book progress. I did pick up a new book from our interlibrary loan, and a big deal is actually that I have access, at least for the month, to a medieval and early modern history database that is, or document and article database that is very important for my research. So as I'm moving things over, I'm like taking notes about stuff that I want to research, like get more modern secondary sources on, because once I don't have this anymore, I have to drive an hour to go get it to a different university, and I need to make sure that I'm basically just going to like do lots of searching on this database in the next month, and then interlibrary loan the things as I need them. So that's kind of the plan for that. So that's kind of a big deal. And that's part of what I'm doing as I am moving things over, is discussing like topics that I want to expand on and get more research on. Okay. That is my book update. Thank you all for supporting me in that project, and I'm hoping that I can make some good progress in the next couple of weeks with or without air conditioning. I mean, it is what it is. I have to just suck it up and do it. So let's talk wedding plans, and then this is it. I knew this was going to be a long one. I had a lot to say. Wedding is planned really well. We basically everything is booked. I don't have the cake yet, but we know what cake we're going to get. So I was going to do that today, and then things got away from me and I just didn't. So I'll have to do that. I bet I can do it tomorrow. I might call in tomorrow and book it. We're going to do, we did do a cake tasting though, which was really fun. And the cake is going to be a so it's a lemon cake with raspberry filling and cream cheese icing, because cream cheese icing is like the best. And then we're going to have cupcakes that are chocolate with a salted caramel icing with salted caramel on top. So it's a chocolate salted caramel cupcake and a lemon raspberry cream cheese cake. That'll be two layers. We haven't decided what it's going to look like yet, and we don't have a topper yet. So we need to figure that out, but that will just be like buying something. I mean, I'm not too worried about that. We tried the food from the food truck, that we're getting a Brazilian food truck that is coming to the wedding to feed us. And that was awesome. So I'm really excited about that. The food was really, really good. We had some issues with the tent, but I figured it out, which I'm happy about. We know where it's going to take place. I booked the toilets because we're having it's going to be an outdoor wedding, and we're going to have, they need to go to the bathroom, so we're going to have toilets. my dress came and it fits me. I have my ring and it fits me. I mean, essentially it's all a go. So the only stuff that I need to take care of now are the cake. I need to just order it, and I'm assuming pay a deposit. And then when we get to the Northeast, when we go back to Pennsylvania, we need to do our marriage license, obviously, but we can't do that now. And then we need to do sort of hors d'oeuvre snacks for the beginning of the wedding situation. We need to do alcohol. So we're just going to do wine and beer. And I think my mom's going to make caipirinhas for select people. And then the next day, because we're getting married on the 5th, which is the Sunday, 5th of September, which is the Sunday. And so the 6th is Labor Day here in the United States. So people have off. So we're going to have a breakfast on Labor Day. So we need to order those kinds of things too. It's just going to be like fruit and pastries and coffee and just kind of hanging out one last time before everyone goes home. Now, I'm a little concerned about COVID with the new Delta variant. And I hear there's a Lambda variant, which I don't like. But it is outside. Everyone who's coming, as far as I know, is vaccinated. So I feel like it's as safe as it's going to be. And if necessary, we can wear masks. I think I'm going to buy a box of masks and kind of like set them there so that people can wear them if they are feeling ill or whatever. But I think it's going to be a fun time. And it being outside makes me feel better. Because that's the big, COVID is a airborne disease. It's an airborne virus. It's not like a surface virus. And so having ventilation is the most important aspect of preventing the spread. So I'm hoping that it being outside will help with that. And that, my friends, is all I have to say. Oh, like I said, I'll post some bloopers of my and Pam's attempts to like record a silly intro at the end of this. And I hope you enjoy them. It was really fun. It was fun to meet Pam. We had lunch. We chatted for a long time. And I wish I lived closer because I'm sure we'd be friends and we would be stitching together more often. I mean, we are friends, but I'm sure we'd be like regular stitchy friends because she's fun. She's a good time. And yeah, with that, I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you next Friday when I do a flip through of my new book, my new magazine from $18.99, my Stitchy magazine from $18.99, and then 2 weeks for another Flosstube. So with all that being said, please take good care of yourselves and have a good one and enjoy those bloopers. Bye. All right, ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, I gotta look. Oh, this is my problem.
Camera on the left.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how to. Sorry, I ruined everything. But I can't. I don't know how to look at it. Yeah?
I think, Christy, that maybe you're not in your own space. I don't think this is Christy's corner. It might be the land of good enough. Such a gourd ball.
We may just have bloopers.